Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we are back in Aska. A new Viking age dawns with you at its helm. Forge a thriving colony from nothing in this mythic third-person open-world survival sim. Earn the gods' favor and survive in a land ruled by ancient terrors and unforgiving seasons. Rally unique villagers, expand your settlement and defend your tribe. Lead them, fight for survival, and forge your Viking legacy. So yeah, this game features solo and co-op play, comprehensive village management, which is my favorite part of the game. It's really cool. It's like they took something like RimWorld and mashed it together with the idea of Valheim or enshrouded survival aspects, and you've got a really interesting mix. It's nice when they try new things. It's got exploration and discovery, seasonal survival, mythical combat, as they like to call it. It does feel pretty good. The combat does feel pretty good. Endless customization options for your villages, buildings, and yes, even your character, which is why we are here. If you'd like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Aska, you can find some links below. There will also be timestamps down there. You can use those to find what you're looking for and leave satisfied. And you also find my links down there, my coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. In this video, we're having a look at the two characters available, Aska and Ragnar. Here at the start, I'm going to say a few things before we jump in to look at the customization. One, it's looking a lot better. And I don't just mean here at the main menu and here in character creation. I mean the game in general is just looking a lot better. Because the last time I looked at it was during Steam Next Fest. I looked at a demo. It was still early days back then. They've polished things up. The models look better. Overall visuals look better. The characters' texture work. All the fine details on the character, they just look a lot neater and tidier. And I'm impressed by that. I'm giving them a thumbs up right off the bat here. For that. There's not a huge amount of extra in terms of the styles available, but there is some new stuff. And it's definitely worth checking out for that and that alone. The second thing I wanted to mention was that this is a curated experience. So as we jump in here, what I mean by that is that you are picking to play as Aska the Raven, or you're picking to play as Ragnar the Bear. These are different characters, they have different ways of leading your tribe, and they have different backstories. You know, they are different individuals. There's a bit of story that I'm going to read for Aska here, same for Ragnar, and because of all of this, and because of their unique natures, you don't get to change everything about them, because they are still always going to be Aska and Ragnar. You're just changing a few things to make your Aska different than that other guy's Aska. Alright? I want to point that out. That's what I mean by curated experience. So, as we jump in here now, we have Aska the Raven. Aska, daughter of the Raven and keeper of the Eye, is the brilliant leader of the exiled people of the North. She's a nimble, tireless and resourceful hunter with an extraordinary sense of perception matched only by the swiftness of her intellect. She alone holds the secrets of the Eye of Odin and the last hope of her people's future. There you go. Her stats. Her vitality actually looks pretty good. That increases her max health. Stamina, that's for sprint, block, and special moves. It's also very good. Hunger, that's her food depletion. Thirst is water depletion. Cold resistance is very self-explanatory. Very important as well in these harsh climes that you play the game in. Strength is for melee combat and harvest speed. Dexterity is for ranged combat and crafting. Intelligence is for professions and magic. And then finally, perception is to discover resources. You can see what she's good at. You can see what she's best at. Spoiler, Ragnar is a bit of a flippity flop. He's on the opposite side. So you flip the stats over. He's got more of the hunger and the thirst bars. He's better at cold resistance. He's got more strength and he's got more vitality. He's more of a tank. He's called Ragnar the Bear. So once again, you pick in your poison where that's concerned. For her customization, yes, the grand reveal. We jump in. You'll see as we zoom in here, she's looking way better. It's not just the visuals. They've also neatened and tidied things up with the hair and the face and just the overall look and feel of the character, and I like that. It's important that it looks good when you first jump in. You can change your facial features over here. This is for the most part just piercings. Some interesting piercings here and some decent choices. The tattoo that's on the face, we will do in the body options in just a moment. I will mention that in case you're wondering why it's there. But you can choose to have no piercings. I'd probably choose to go without the piercings, even though I like them a lot. I don't know. There's something about, I like the tattoos quite a bit. I'd probably pick something there, and I wouldn't want anything to distract from it. But you got 10 different styles here to go with. It's actually technically, yeah, it's 10 because one of them is nothing. And you just pick what you like and you go with. I actually kind of like this weird one over here across the nose. I don't know what that would even be called. I've never seen a piercing like that. It looks kind of crazy. But for the purposes of the video, we'll just take it off. And I'll show you the hairstyles. So here's where things have definitely improved quite a lot. As I mentioned, I think the hair looks a lot nicer. There are some interesting styles here. I will express my dislike for the fact that some of the hairstyles here are locked behind achievements, or they call it deeds in the game. It's not really explained all that well right here. It says complete all Skadi deeds to tier 3 to unlock. Yeah, it makes sense. But they don't explain why it looks so damn cool and why we don't have it here. But this shock of white hair is fantastic. It looks phenomenal. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I love it. But it would be awesome if they just, and this is my personal opinion, added a bunch of new stuff to character creation, gave people more options when they first make their character, and then instead put cool weapons and cool armor and cool extras like that locked behind the deeds. That's my personal take on it. I would have preferred something like that. However, I'm also just going to say that I do believe these hairs and the hairstyles and stuff look way better than the older ones that they have. It's just something that you can quite plainly see was made later. In other words, they were better at making these things when they made these styles. As far as I can tell, they look great. They look really good. And that said, I'm a big fan. I love that hairstyle, and I love the shock of hair. As I mentioned, this one's really cool. I do not know why the character goes grayscale. Maybe it's just to show that this is what they're trying to point out, because you can't change the hair color when this is on. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if the grayscale thing is part of what you get with it. I don't know. I'm sorry. But I'm trying to show you guys the authentic, hey, this is what you get when you first jump in experience, and that's part of it. So there you are. For the colors, I'm a big fan. I'm going to say it's night time here now. So everything looks, in my opinion, a little worse during the night. I'm maybe not doing Aska a really good solid here by showing it off, but let's have a quick peek. What I'll do is I'll just go through it quickly, and if I believe it doesn't look that good, I will just re-jump in and show you once again so that you can see it during the day. It's easy enough to just quit the game and come back in. But there is this day-night cycle here that's constantly running. No, this looks pretty great, actually. I was just worried that perhaps the hairstyles wouldn't look as bright and as vibrant as they should, and these look perfect. They look phenomenal. I like the colors that they chose here, and I think that it's cool to let people have a little bit of fun, you know? Just give people fun colors, give people fun choices, give them lots of choices, and let them go crazy. Because at the end of the day, what you want is for the player to feel cool, right? You want them to feel cool even right from the start when they're making their character. And if you give them more options, cooler options, that's how you do it, right? So, I'll just, speaking of looking cool and feeling cool, I'll take the black, boring hair. And let's look at the eyes. The eye color in this applies pretty well, as in you can see the eyes changing color quite nicely, and you can see it even from a distance, which is cool, but they are quite small, and the eyes themselves are not super duper bright all the time. However, again, when you zoom out, especially with the brighter ones, it looks good. And I mean, overall, I'd still give it a thumbs up, because again, there's a nice selection of colors, and they all apply well to the eye. There isn't like a weird reflection getting in the way. They're not too dark. They're not sinking into the head somehow. It looks good. So, yeah, that's nice. It's nice. And there's a good combination here that you can sort of... You'll be able to get some cool stuff done with the hair colors and the eye colors. There are some nice combos that you can pull off. Speaking of nice combos, the best combos definitely come from the tattoos. So, for the tattoos over here, there are a bunch of different styles. I'm not sure. I'm assuming the Tattoo 0 is the sort of default Aska one. But I don't know, man. These are all really, really cool. And then they also have some that are locked behind deeds. You will see those in just a moment when we get there. But my favorite part of the tattoos is that the colors that you pick for them apply incredibly well, and especially on the darker skin tones, you can have those lighter colors just pop. They look phenomenal. But as I mentioned, there are some that are locked behind deeds over here. This is the Odin one to tier 2. It should be simple enough to do this if you want to unlock it. Tattoos, I will say on the flip side, you can probably lock behind deeds and it feels fine. I just didn't like the idea of maybe locking hairstyles behind the deeds. But this looks really cool. It sort of looks like dragon scales or something like that. I dig it. This is also kind of nice, very busy on the back over there. But yeah, there's a nice selection here. And what's actually pretty awesome is that both characters have their own tattoo selection. So they have a unique set of tattoos tailored to them and them alone. My favorite of the bunch is probably this one. Let's take this and look at the colors. I'm gonna quickly go with all the colors on this skin tone, and then I'll go through the colors on a darker skin tone so you can see that, because I really believe it's totally worth seeing. If I take the darker skin tone they have here and I show you these lighter colors, they look so cool. Especially the yellow and the orange, these ones, and the green. It's awesome. And even this red looks sick. Like, that's it. That's just it. Yeah. I think it's awesome. But let's take the tattoos off quickly, and I'll show you the skin tones. Very interesting selection of skin tones as well. I will say that. Not what I would call grounded in reality, but I do not believe this game is really grounded in reality in any way, shape, or form. It has magic, it has the gods, and it has all sorts of other cool and mythical things. And that's why we have an orc green skin tone, and I believe it actually looks pretty cool. I made a very cool character that was orc green with the white hair, and I thought it just looked phenomenal. I'm a big fan. But that does bring us to the end of the customization options for Aska over here. That's the default, I believe. And now we're going to move on. This right here is Ragnar. Ragnar is a former thrall who earned his freedom through hard work. His great physical strength, together with an unbreakable will, fueled by his faith in a primal bear god, make him an invaluable ally and friend of Aska. Where Aska leads through sharpness of wit, Ragnar is there to break wood, stone, and foe with raw ferocity. The game's name is Aska. She's kind of the main character, but Ragnar's also a main character. Think of it as a buddy cop movie where you have the main character maybe with a little bit more screen time, but the secondary one is just as important and plays just as important a role in bringing it all together, because the movie wouldn't feel complete or whole without the both of them in it. Ragnar's awesome. I like the model of Ragnar. I like the look that they gave him, and I like how much they've fixed and neatened and tidied him up as well. He looks great. The beard especially. When we zoom in now, you'll see. Let's just not get distracted by that, because I could say so many things about this hunk of a man. First, however, I'll say some things about his stats. His vitality, as I mentioned, is just maxed out. This guy's got max health for days. Stamina is not bad. That's for his sprint, block, and special moves. His hunger, as you can see, is quite high as well. I'm not sure if that means he gets hungry quickly and thirsty quickly, or if that means the opposite. I don't quite understand. I believe it's probably that he gets hungry, or because they say depletion, so maybe he doesn't get, I don't know, whatever. But it's higher, so it's probably better. He is more resistant to cold, though. That's a fact. That's very important as well. He has high strength. That's for melee combat and harvest speed. Dexterity is, it's okay. It's okay. That's range combat and crafting. Intelligence is not that great. He's not the smartest boy, but we still love him. That's for certain professions in magic. And then there's perception, where Aska's is definitely higher as well. As I mentioned, he's got pretty much the opposite in a lot of ways to Aska, and it's cool that you can pick the way you want to play. Now, let us zoom in on this handsome gent, and look at him. He looks a lot better. A lot of the texture work on the bodies, I notice when I zoom in here, on the tattoos, the markings and stuff, and on the face in general, just looks a whole lot better. The facial features on Ragnar are the facial hair options. You don't get to change the stubble that he has on his face over here, but you do get to pick the facial hair that you want. He has a few that are actually locked behind deeds. You will notice as we go on, he looks incomplete without facial hair, so please just put a beard on this guy. As we go through here, I'm going to say I don't quite understand this. I mentioned this on the Aska side of things. I don't know if this is actually a shock of white beard, if it's supposed to be just this color, because you can't change the color over here of the beard, but it could also just be that they are highlighting it as white. I don't know if this gray skin tone comes with it. I know nothing. I'm just looking at the style here. I like the style. These are really cool styles that they have locked behind the deeds. The idea is that you need to jump into the game, complete the deed, and then you unlock this. Then you can equip this in the game, or you can equip it here when you make a new character. That's basically how it works. There are, however, on Ragnar, more than enough good beards to pick from. Right at the start here, I think that these are fantastic. Specifically, this one I think looks really good, so you should have no problem. Alright, with that said, there are some hairstyles that are also locked behind deeds, so keep that in mind as we're going through here. You will know them when you see them. I personally prefer the overall look and feel and style of Ragnar the Bear. I like his hairstyles more, and I don't often pick the male character for whatever reason, but I would probably pick him for this game. I like his extra styles, the ones that are locked behind the deeds here as well. They look pretty cool. They've made these newer styles, these ones that they have locked, in my opinion, in a slightly better looking fashion. They are more detailed in a lot of ways, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing. There's nice variety there as well. I believe this should have been one of the basic hairstyles, just a normal shortish style. But again, I think that we've got enough to work with here with Ragnar. I like this one. This combo here is just perfect. For the hair colors, yeah, same as Aska. Very cool colors that apply well. You have some really bright choices here, or you have some that look more straightforward and down to earth. The bright ones, in my opinion, actually allow for some pretty interesting and unique customization options, especially when you combine them with the markings, the tattoos, and the skin tones, which we will get to in just a bit. I like to be boring for the videos though, so I can sort of show the contrast of colors better. As an example with the eyes over here. His eyes are a little smaller than Aska's, just a little bit. I mean, I'm not talking like pig eyes here. I'm saying they're just a little bit smaller, and he seems to cast his gaze downward a little bit, so you can't really see them as well. He's got a bit of a furrowed brow. They look good though. And if you pick a nice bright one here, like the yellow one, and you zoom out, then you can definitely see them even when you've zoomed out. So that's good. Thumbs up. I like it. Onto the body options. He does have a full unique set of tattoos, and they look great. They just look great. This one specifically has so much going on with it. I love it. The other ones that he has are much more primal and sort of like rough and tumble than the Aska ones. They're not neat and tidy in any way, shape, or form. They look like proper war paint. I kind of dig that. Again, it's nice to have that dichotomy between the two characters. It's nice to have them look and feel like their own unique characters. It's cool. It's really cool. These are the ones that are locked behind the deeds. You can see over here that they are definitely different, but not really superior. They might link quite nicely. As you can see over here, this one is to complete all the Heimdallr deeds to tier 3. I'm sorry, that's a difficult word. Okay, it looks like Heimdallr. You get those to tier 3, you unlock this. Maybe these are his runes or his sigils. It's possible, right? This one's for Mimir. And that might be the kind of thing that he likes, you know? Maybe that's what he bestows upon you, and that would make sense. I really like this one. That's also Heimdallr to tier 2. Very cool. Lots of coverage on that. But there are some pretty decent options here. And if you can change the colors on these, that would be phenomenal. Because obviously you would get a great use out of those there. But for the purposes of the video, we'll just go with 0 over here, and I'll show you how the colors look. I mentioned on the Aska side of things that the color choices that you have here are awesome, and I think personally one of the best parts of this character creation system. just because, and you might be like shaking your head and be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? It looks terrible. Yeah, they do look terrible. This one looks horrible when you put it on the lighter skin, but then you just flip it over here and you're like, whoa, what the heck, man? That's fantastic. And it's the same for all of these darker skin tones over here, and it is fantastic. There are some really, really, really cool combinations that you can pull out with this. I mean, look at this guy. He's a ferocious orc. Like, it's great. I really have nothing to say other than wow, you know? So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away here. I like this. I like this. I like what they've done with it. I like the idea of it. I like all of it, yeah. The fact that they didn't hold back with the brightness of the tattoos is a big, big plus for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm easily impressed, but I think it's pretty cool. So I personally would go with something like that. However, for the purposes of the video, I'll just take it off quickly so that I can show you the skin tones and we can call it a day. They do look good. He has a bunch of really good skin tone. Man, this guy's got muscles on muscles. Woof. Look at that. The skin tones look really nice. And the texture on the skin sort of accentuates that. Makes it look even better. It's cool. Yeah. It's very cool. And I'm a fan of the fact that they give you some that are a little different. You know, a little out there. Like the orc green. It might just be me that likes that stuff. But that does bring us to the end of the options. And that does bring us directly into the outro. So yeah, Aska. I feel like they've improved things quite a lot here. And that's pretty much been the song that I've been singing throughout this video, is that I'm a fan of the fact that they polished it up and they made it better post-launch. I looked at it early on. I looked at a demo and it was definitely not complete then. Now when I look at it, I see a game that is definitely ready for consumption. Copious amounts of consumption. They've done really well with pretty much everything where the character models are concerned. I love the outfits. I love the texture work. I love the way that they've done the physics and stuff like that. I love how they've neatened and tidied all the lines. It all just comes together quite nicely. And I think that it's looking impressive where that is concerned. Now for the new content that's been added, there's a bunch of stuff that's locked behind deeds. I like those styles a lot. They look amazing. They look better than the other ones that they have. I don't really like the idea that they're locked behind deeds personally. I think it would have been better to have the hairstyles specifically here. Same for the beards and stuff like that. They should be here ready for everyone when they jump into the game. That should just be part of the core experience. And if you want to put stuff behind deeds, you put skins for your armor and for your weapons. You put tattoos and markings. You put other cool extras for the characters there. Not things like hairstyles. Why would completing a deed for a god give you a hairstyle? It's not that. It's not the lore reason. It's just because you want the character creation system to be more robust. That's my takeaway from all of this, but I do love the fact that they've improved things quite a lot. I'm impressed. And yeah, Aska as a game is looking really fun, and I'm a fan of it. Yes. So, I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you've jumped in to play the game, let me know. You can, as always, give this video a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. You can also find my links below, as I've mentioned, my coffee page, my Twitch channel, and all the rest. And yeah, happy creating those characters, dudes. Happy jumping into Aska, managing that village, and trying to stay alive. Happy that.